Base Media Cloud provides one secure place to store all your digital files, connected to multiple software tools in the cloud. Our suite of ready-made cloud solutions enables you to secure your data, reduce costs, and benefit from 100% online remote working, all available on demand and at a predictable price, wrapped with premium support, training, and account management. With Base Media Cloud, you can upload and backup data at super-fast speeds from any location straight to our storage hub. Process assets from any format to any format at an unlimited scale. Tag, search, and view your digital assets online with your branded media library. Work from home on virtual workstations, enabling online collaboration on high-res files. Automatically create metadata and monetize your content using our custom AI integrations. And distribute files globally with accelerated file transfers and customizable streaming services. All this from one service provider, enabling you to secure your data, reduce costs, and collaborate online from anywhere. Base Media Cloud, one storage hub, multiple possibilities.
David, do you want to just introduce yourself and explain your role at Aurora, please?
So I'm David O'Carroll, I'm the Operations Director at Aurora. We are a media production company with sport at our very heart, and we look after properties like Formula E, the Goodwood festivals, we do some cycling, some tennis. So we have a broad range of sports clients, and then we also have a number of corporate clients as well. Some of the motorsport manufacturers and some sort of blue-collar and white-collar companies.
Thanks very much. We've been working with these guys since around 2016, and originally it was a fairly straightforward cloud storage and file sharing solution, but the requirements for the rights holder were to have a full branded MAM and be able to distribute content to all the global broadcast sponsor partners and teams. So if we just dive into the Aurora Media showreel, we can show you a bit about the company's work they've been doing before we start.
Championship contenders out at turn one.
To Guinness Raise Your Game!
So join us for Formula E.
Hello and welcome to Goodwood.
This is the highest viewing lounge in the world.
This thing is a beast.
Fantastic, David, thanks for sharing that with us. So for people who haven't heard of Formula E before or not following the sport, can you give us the kind of elevator pitch of what is it and how they're different?
Well, Formula E is single-seater, open-wheel racing in city centres with electric-powered race cars. It's close racing, there's barely a second between the top and bottom of the grid usually. It's combative, it's very close, it's wheel-to-wheel.
Fantastic. And if we just move on to the next slide, I think we've got a breakdown of some of the kind of USPs and how they're looking to change the face of motorsport.
Yes, it's a motorsport that is targeted very clearly at a younger demographic than traditional motorsport. The way that the championship is built with fan engagement that actually influences the racing is to draw these younger viewers in. And a lot of what is on here talks to that. It's a purpose-driven sport. It talks about it being a platform for development of electric vehicles. It also has a sustainable message, which again talks to the younger demographics.
And the viewership has really been growing year on year. I think since we started working together, it's been more than double growth every year in terms of distribution of the videos getting out there. Can you tell us a bit about that?
There was so the championship is now 5 years old. We're going to season 6 next week. Over that time, as you can see, the growth has been pretty impressive. There was a huge step change into season 5, so the season just passed, where more mature broadcasters came on board. Some of the broadcasters that we've been talking earlier, and the distribution therefore has become much wider. And in the last season, it's gone up again to over 400 million viewers through the season, which is staggering for a championship that is 5 years old.
And how's your technical approach changed? If you look back from year 1 to now, what have you put in place to make it that scalable that quickly?
Well, that step change between seasons 4 and 5 meant that we had to just elevate everything we were doing on site to create a traditional world feed for the broadcasters who wanted to take something and personalise it. We then created a secondary feed, which was for English language speaking countries. We changed our sort of modus operandi on site to make a more traditional TOC and all the feeds of everything available to the broadcasters who were coming to site. And we were creating far more content, which allowed then the broadcasters to take that and personalise it and use it on their channels, no matter what tier of broadcaster or funding they had available to make their programming. And then the second part of that is that we worked very hard to give the broadcasters and the rights holders access to all the content to be able to personalise their programs. And part of that was scaling up very quickly the cloud-based DMH that we have, so that it became the central hub of all of the content we were producing for sort of the global TV output, the teams and partners and sponsors. Little Dot used it as a repository for all their digital content, and then we were able to push that out to a far wider. Everybody had that one place to come to get content.
Yeah, I think that's been a major difference, and it's similar, kind of mirrors Copper 90's approach, where traditionally, if you needed to share content with partners, you'd have to push it, and that can be a very manual workflow. But with both these companies, they've got global partners that can just log in at any time, search what they want, and just pull it on demand. If we move to the next slide, you've got a lot of commercial partners, and Formula E has grown very, very rapidly. You've now got all of these major car manufacturers coming on board, big commercial sponsors. How important is it for these partners to be able to access the video as well?
At least as important. So the way this DMH is structured is that it's a secure system, and we can give each of the partners access to the pieces of media that they have the rights to, but it also means that everybody can see the full raft of material that could be available. So we use it as a delivery mechanism for some of these brands that you see, but they're also able to go and take a look and find other content that they could then use in their own productions or their own channels.
And how has this approach changed the way that you can commercialise the media and actually sell it to more people, if you like?
Well, one of the things that we do now very actively is draw the metrics from the DMH, which allows us to see who's using what content, how frequently. We can't track it to its playout, but we can see who's downloading it, who's using which bits. So that allows the Formula E commercial team to really target what's going on, so they can see what is being used, what's popular, what's not popular, who's using the content in the best possible way, perhaps who's maybe not making the best possible use of it.
Fantastic. If we just switch to the next slide, we're going to talk about what you've got today and what we're doing ready for next weekend. But prior to that, in season 5, you already started to look at AI-powered workflows like your live broadcast. I think it was more related to graphics.
Yes, so...
But we don't actually have a demo of that.
So in the season just past, we had an AI-driven graphics engine that was able to point and graphic a car as it moved around the track. Now, that was done by sort of visual recognition of that car, so that even if it was in the pack on the grid almost, as they took off, it would follow that car around, and it made it very clear it improved our storytelling because we were able to highlight things as they were happening. That was the first time that sort of AI technique had been used to do a pointer in real time over real pictures.
Fantastic. And we're going to dive into what we're doing in season 6 with AI. I'm going to hand over to David Candler. If you could just again talk us through the architecture, the workflow, and before we show the demo video, what AI is going to be implemented for season 6.
Okay. It's nice not to have to think about the rugby actually for a change. So, but basically, again, a cloud-native solution where all of this content on the left from the production partners, whether it's Little Dot Studios with the digital content or North One supporting Aurora with production, all of that's coming into one centralized place. So, when I first met Formula E a few years ago, I was talking about bringing everything together, to create a legacy basically for this sport. And at the time, they just wanted to get the message out, and that wasn't on their agenda. But we finally got it in, and right now we have everything that's ever been filmed for Formula E by Aurora and the production partners. So we've basically, I think we've quadrupled the participants taking part in the use of Digital Media Hub or DMH, and we've doubled the amount of content for next season. So it's a good story. When we're ingesting in this way, it's a similar kind of role where we're ingesting the master content from the live event or from post-production. We're transcoding again for the various outputs that we require. And then from next weekend, we're applying AIware. So in this case, we're doing 3 things for 3 different reasons. We're doing face recognition, we're doing speech-to-text or transcription, and we're doing logo recognition. So, for example, if we just take, transcription, and one of our partners, Speechmatics, is in the room. I guess I'll be speaking later. Basically, that's a very common form of AI machine learning, where we can actually take the commentary track and actually have a searchable insight into the live broadcast coming in. So broadcasters can get to the point where they need from some very simple, actionable insights that AI has created. And then we have clipping tools and post tools to get out of there. With the logo recognition, obviously we mentioned a lot of sponsors. For other customers, we're taking it one step further. So we do logo recognition, and then we can plug in all kinds of analytics into the platform. For example, if we plugged in Nielsen audience measurement data, at that seminal moment in the sports event where you saw a logo, and basically you can see what's happening in the demographic that's watching as well, and social media and website analytics as well. That's all built into the platform. And then face recognition. I know what you're going to say. Don't they wear helmets? But they're on the stand. There's celebrities in there, etc., etc. So next weekend, we're really proud to say that we're launching this, and it's just going to help with the discoverability of the content within the hub, and to feed all of those parties on the right, whether they're broadcasters, press associations, etc., etc. They all get the benefit of accessing this content.
Just before we watch the demo video, David, what's the business driver for starting to move towards more machine-based workflows?
In this particular case, it's to create richer data for broadcasters then to search against. So at the moment, we manually log most of the content that goes in, certainly around the sort of main race footage. But moving to AI is going to mean that someone doesn't have to sit with a pen and paper and physically log, but also give us far richer insight into what the search terms can be, and they'll be able to find, broadcasters will be able to find the parts they're looking for much quicker, hopefully leading to more use of the footage and their greater personalisation of the content.
Yeah, it's really good to have a real-world business case for it, because often AI is spoken about just as a geeky, techie thing, but this is a real-world solution. So let's have a look at the walkthrough video and just show you what it's going to look like next week.
Here we are in the search results page of the DMH showing 4 assets. On the left, we have configured 4 cognitive engine search categories. Let's type in Lucas into the transcription field. There are 2 assets that have Lucas present in the transcription timeline. Going into the asset details page allows us to view these results and jump to the points in the video by clicking on the entry.
He's looking strong. Behind Robin Freitz, who has already taken his first one. So now, Lucas de Grassi.
Now let's jump back and try searching for a logo, in this case DHL. When we click on an asset, we can see that the logo on the car has been recognised. We can also clear that search term and filter the cognitive engines deployed. By typing in a term into the search bar, I can get a list of all recognised instances of the ABB logo on the car, which I can jump to in the video's timeline. Switching to another asset, we can see how manually logged results are displayed in the same manner using additional category names. We are happy to continue to support the upload of manually logged data, as well as the AI-ware generated data where required.
There's been a lot of hype about the Gen 2 car. Extra power. Yeah, we're still in the pit lane. Nicky, thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
that was
just
two places at once, David.
I know, I voiced that, that was great. No, basically, I mean, we're using only 3 of our 16 categories of AI there, and only 3 of our 325 cognitive engines, or best of breed engines. But yeah, we're really looking forward to next weekend.